Hello, beautiful. So before we get started, I want to talk about the optional intermittent fasting. And I think this topic is becoming a lot more common and popular, and people are trying it because a lot of people are talking about it. So just know that intermittent fasting is something that is not for everyone. And I do not recommend it to any women who are on their period this week. Please do not fast. Your body needs nutrition and nourishment, so know that you can experiment with it another time. That being said, intermittent fasting is something that I have found truly fascinating, and I've started experimenting with it when I was doing some research on brain health. There is a doctor among the many doctors that may support this practice, David Perlmutter, and he is a neuroscientist, and he talks about the benefits of fasting intermittently and how that can affect the aging of your brain. So that was my initial curiosity with it. He actually preaches that every season change, with everything else that's going on at that time, he decides to do a full 24-hour intermittent fast. So I started experimenting with it around the same time, and I found that it really helped me for many reasons. So not only does fasting reduce inflammation going on in your body, and inflammation is the precursor of so much disease out there, but I also found that it helped me control my snacking habits, which is always a big reason why I cannot wait for these programs that I do to be in place, because I sit here and I do them with you. I think a lot of times we eat out, not out of necessity and true hunger, but we eat out of emotional charge. So we might be stressed, bored, angry, frustrated, sad, or just to fill the time gap. And so fasting allows me to realize that my body needs a certain amount of nourishment, but sometimes we overdo it. Not only that, but it does help digestion. I personally have struggled with skin issues for basically my entire teens and 20s, and just now I've gotten it under control. But I do find that because it reduces inflammation from the inside out, fasting can often help reset your digestive system, as well as, any skin flare-ups going on. I encourage you to take precaution. So again, this is not for everyone. If you've never fasted before, but you're interested to try it, I always recommend doing a 12-hour window. So in other words, going from dinner, Sunday night when we kick off on the 1st, and then ending it 12 hours later. So if you eat dinner at, let's say, 6:30 p.m. on Sunday, you'll end your fasting window at 6:30 a.m. on Monday with breakfast. And so the majority of time you're sleeping during that time, so it's typically easier to do. While you are fasting, if you choose to fast, if you want to go a little bit longer, lately over the years, I found that 24 hours is very extreme for me unless I am lounging, doing nothing, and fully resting, because I do not recommend exercising rigorously on this fast. You can do something light and gentle like yoga, but your body is in repair mode and it's in restorative mode. So you should be resting and giving your body just a break and allowing the energy that you do have to go to restoring your insides. So that being said, start with 12 hours. I typically go from a 16 to 20 hour window. So I'll go from dinner on Sunday to lunch on Monday, or a little bit later of a lunch. And that tends to work really well for me. So please play around with it. It's so important to keep hydrated. Drink water throughout the day. If you need a little squeeze of lemon in there, great. For those people who are taking this very scientific and literally, yes, sometimes lemon juice can be perceived as food and nutrition, so it's not technically, scientifically a fast, but know that that's an option. Bone broth, I always say, is a really great option for people who do need a little nutrition, and bone broth is great for healing your gut, as well as any ligaments or any injuries you may have in your muscular system from working out. So many things that bone broth is good for. So if you do want that, that's there for you. And reach out to me, please. If you do plan to fast, I will be your guide. Let me know. That's the only way to know for me, if you're actually doing it, and to give you more advice. And always make sure that you eat a very well-rounded meal before you fast. That's so important. If you eat a really sugary meal with carbs and no nutrients bound to it, like no protein or no healthy fat, you're going to feel hungry almost immediately because you're sending your blood sugar out of whack. So I do give a lot of guidance. Please read the emails on what I recommend eating. If you want to make a plan for that, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help. All right. So hopefully you are getting everything ready to go. You've got your grocery shopping list printed, or maybe you've already bought your groceries and you're starting to meal prep and figure it all out before we begin, which is great. But again, if you have questions, I am here for you. I just wanted to give you a little tidbit about fasting and know that it is entirely optional and it's not going to make or break your progress in this program. Great.